Welcome back to the OptiShot Academy. I'm Chad.
And I'm Ben.
Okay, directional control is where it's at. That's what we're talking about. We want to give you different tools and different ways to see what helps you hit your ball the straightest. We're going to talk about attentional control. Okay, so one of the most fascinating things that I learned was from a world-class sports psychologist, Dr. Jensen, and he taught me how to influence this with players, and it was amazing to me the impact that it had. So we'd like to show the people at home how they can use this in their living room or garage or basement, what have you, to see what helps hit the ball straighter. Do you want to talk about the different ways we can use our attention and what that could possibly look like for people?
Yeah, I think there's really two types of people out there. There's types of people that when they play golf, they hit the ball much straighter when they have a wide focus. So it's very, very broad. It's just general areas. And then you have people that have hit the ball better with a very, very narrow focus, similar to, I believe it was Ben Hogan. There's a story about him playing in a U.S. Open, and his caddy told him that, to aim at a tree, and then Ben Hogan had asked him, well, what leaf would you like me to hit? So it kind of gave us some insight on Mr. Hogan and what he did when he played, and it sounds to me like he was a narrow focus guy.
Very good, very good. So at home, we just want to start to understand that we want to get our attention more out, and it could either be wide, very general, or it could be very narrow and very specific, and there is no right or wrong. We just want to find out which one makes you tick and which one gives you better control. So it's actually a skill that we can train. If we get around world-class sports psychologists, they would help you understand its relevance and what you can do about it. So we're going to bring it to you right now. So having said that, we're going to run some experiments. Where do you want to start? You want to go wide or you want to go narrow?
Let's start with wide focus. So up on the screen here, if you kind of look at the driving range that we have in the background, there's targets on the left and right side. So what I'm going to do to have a wide focus is I'm just going to try to send my ball in between those signs. So it's not narrow at all. It's very, very wide. It's very broad.
All right, so I think it's important to note, remember the 1 to 5 scale?
Yep.
We're going to have to go back and use that to find out, a 5 being I totally was able to just keep my attention out and wide. Well, 1 would be, no, I started doing something else, trying to fix my swing or something.
Sure.
Okay. You're going wide. Let's see what that would look like.
It was very free, very loose. I have to give myself a 5 there. So I just tried to send it out there in a general area, and actually did a pretty good job keeping it between the signs. One of the experiments that I ran on my own is a couple summers ago, I went and played Arcadia Bluffs. And I believe it's the 6th hole that you tee off in Lake Michigan is all down the left side. So I wanted to test my wide focus to see what would happen. So what I did is I teed up a ball and sent it right out into Lake Michigan. So I didn't have a specific point at all. It was just sending it out into Lake Michigan, and it was unbelievable to me how good I hit it.
Okay, so basically even wider than what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
It's like hitting it into the big giant Lake Michigan, and it was awesome how it felt.
It was crazy how solid the contact was and how straight it went. And the other thing that it did for me is it allowed me to feel free when I swung the club.
It's funny that you say that. So when I was a kid, basically I had a lake in my backyard, and I would hit tons of balls into this lake, and it was always amazing how good I could hit it.
Yeah, I was putting on a stripe show, didn't you?
It was fun. It was fun. So would you go, if you ran the experiment, would you go wider, like you just have no target in general, just let it rip?
This time what I would like, yeah, let's bring it even wider. So I'm going to use the whole screen this time. So I'm really going to be looking at the whole screen. So now I'm not even using the outside parts of the range. I'm going to use the whole screen.
So it could be like severely wide.
Yeah, really wide.
Show us what you got. Ben, that looked like a great swing. That was
yeah, I can't tell you how much more free that feels. So the wider I go, the freer I feel, the better outcome I get.
Isn't that fascinating? So you didn't really have any attention on any parts of your swing. It was more just sending the ball wherever.
Sending the ball out into space.
How about that? How about that? So now let's go to the other way. We're going to experiment with narrow. So it's fascinating to us. For some people at Golf Leadership Academy, very, very wide helps them.
Yep.
And that's cool. And then on the other side of that, we have a lot of people where very, very narrow actually blows their mind. So we can learn a lot from that. Mm-hmm. So I'll get these balls. If we were to pick a narrow, a very specific target out, would you focus your attention between the ball flights there? Would you be able to do that?
So what I'm going to focus on to make sure that my focus is narrow this time is on the top of the red tracer, there's a cloud. So it's a very, very small point that I'm going to try to hit. So I'm going to try to hit that cloud on the screen.
Okay, so you're going to be able to keep your attention, or try and tend to, at the cloud.
Yes.
Off you go.
And that's typically what happens to me. So contact not very good. Actually, when I had that very, very narrow focus, I get tight. I get almost a claustrophobic feeling. I don't like that at all.
No kidding.
Truth be told.
It's fascinating to me that as tight as you felt, you didn't like it, the ball still performed.
Yeah.
How about that? So
I
again,
just typically know that when I do get tight like that, that's not going to last very long. I mean, I got away with it there, but the contact did not feel like it did with a wide focus.
got it. So for Ben, that didn't work. He didn't like it. That's totally cool. At home, you just have to be open. You have to run the experiment. So having said that, you didn't like that one. Would you go a little bit broader? Like would you do the slightly moderately severe spectrum?
Yeah, so now as opposed to the cloud, so there's 2 tracers up there now, so I'm just going to widen it a little bit. It's still going to be pretty narrow. So there's a blue tracer and there's a red tracer. I'm going to try to split those uprights.
All right, let's see what happens. Oh, wow.
I split the uprights.
Did that one feel less confined than the very, very specific?
Yes, still don't like that feeling very much. I really enjoyed the feeling that I had when I was as wide as I could get.
Very good.
Doesn't mean that the outcome wasn't good though.
Okay. So another way that you could use this, back to the ball being the teacher. Let's say that you're launching the ball and it's hitting to the right in your screen or net at home. Or on the counterbalance of that, if you're launching it left and that keeps happening. You can actually move your focus to different parts of the net and see if the ball follows you. So we try to teach people at the Golf Leadership Academy, we want the ball following you, not the other way around. We don't want you to start reacting to what the ball is doing. So having said that, if you were hooking it to the left, could you just focus more out to the right?
Yeah, so I'm still going to use the wide focus, except now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to split the screen directly in half. So now I have a right half of the screen and a left half of the screen. So what I'm going to do to keep my focus wide is I'm just going to try to launch it somewhere out towards the right part of the screen.
Show us what that could look like.
I mean, just you see how much more free that is? I mean, I have to stay wide. That works well for me.
So you like the free feeling and the ball followed where your attention was. Is that true?
It did. It's following me around.
Unbelievable. So a lot of the times we have people come in and they're trying to break 100 or trying to break 90 and they come over the top and the ball's launching left and fading back. Ultimately, it's amazing for people who want to hit a draw. The first thing that the ball has to do to be a draw is it actually has to launch to the right. So this could actually help your swing path, actually help your mechanics, and get you to start to hit draws so you can get more consistent contact and a more repeatable ball flight. Use your attentional control, wide and narrow, play around with it. Keep up the experiments, and we'll look forward to seeing you the next time at the OptiShot Academy.